just with a very small amount of training so far, and is already quite capable of helping the teachers support the websites.
Computer Repair Center, we have a training component. Computer Repair Center is an organization that has technicians in every parish. Yes. So that's how we'll be facilitating the teaching of schools in every parish. Okay. We're going to be starting the main training here, and then for the technicians, for computer repair technicians, and they're going to be teaching schools in their parishes. Oh.
It's going to be a computer lab here.
So these are the computers?
Here are the computers that we're going to set up and network and run the Sky Builders timelines. And we'll have people building websites and communicating all over the world. It's just a wonderful experience. This is going to be this is what the library looks like now, but we'll be making sure a great library is here as a resource for the community. It's just a very exciting moment.
Yes, I think getting the place clean is the main priority.
Yeah. We want our community comfortable in our new lab.
Hi, I'm Dawn Vaz. I'm in a very supportive role where the technical aspect is concerned. But I'm here really to learn more about the, with the Sky Builders tool.
Cyber Jamaica, the website is what is going to facilitate all the teachings all over Jamaica.
The model that we pursue is not someone sitting at a screen and learning. That's the first image that comes to people's mind when they think of internet education. Learning takes place best when it's face-to-face. Its essential quality is a stimulus, an organized form of response, feedback of that response in an environment that integrates it and somehow responds to it. And so the essence of education is really the establishment of a feedback loop. When you think about feedback loops, you can think about them as taking place in a classroom. You can think about them as taking place in a school. You can think about them as taking place in a country. You can think about them taking place in the environment of the world.
But we put you in an awkward position almost. I didn't mean to do it, but almost as this sort of check on Charlie and Wayne and Becca's sort of enthusiasm for this project, and kind of someone in almost a negative position.
I just want to begin by saying, I'm of course familiar with this project, and really I think that a lot of the ideas that these guys are putting forth are exactly the kinds of ideas that forward-thinking folks like ourselves might think are great ideas. I think that whether you're talking about, there's definitely a demand for education in general that's in the developing world, and people are actually willing to pay for it. If you might have seen some of those figures in that Dominican report that you read. There's a demand for fun tools. Kids in particular like to have fun. They want to play games, they want to express themselves with music and art and other things. Kids are not, generally speaking, super psyched about learning Microsoft Word. If you put them in a room and you try to teach them about, this is technology, isn't it nifty, this is Adobe Acrobat, I don't know how many kids are going to get really psyched about that.
They call it WYSIWYG and it rocks.
Exactly. And I think that what the challenge that, what these guys are all saying is rethink education. And sort of, if you read the article, the Mitch Resnick article about sort of digital fluency and the idea of a creative society and giving people the technology tools to create and to learn what they want to learn, to find out what they need to find out, and rethinking how you do education, as sort of Charlie was just advocating, that's where we want to go. Unfortunately, if real-world experience is any indicator, it's a tough place to get to.
I have become convinced, by Charlie and Beck and others, that maybe, entertainment may be a really viable export for these places. Jamaican music is seriously around the world. When you go in South Africa, Jamaican bars are a big deal. Okay? Now somehow that hasn't really yet maybe enrich the Jamaicans effectively, but that's, you know,
Remittance problem, maybe, right?
somehow I think that's, you know, that this is a very, very viable thing in a knowledge economy, that entertainment is a real thing.
I think the question is, are we going with music because music is a great way to get people in and playing? And, you know, I mean, I suspect a lot of people who've gotten technologically literate have gotten in from gaming.
You can say, look, this works. You know, these kids were jerking around on Fruity Loops, and look at them now. I mean, they started 5 businesses, they're doing this, whatever. The economic competitiveness of your country is going through the roof.
And music's really fun, and it's a good way to get in there. But I'm not convinced that that's necessarily going to lead to a product. Now, if you guys are going to follow Jim's argument, then I would argue that you should also be helping people set up a record label. And if you're going to do entrepreneurship classes around this, and you're going to help people figure out how to sell and market the music, I'm probably more supportive of the idea than I am of it as sort of a pure education, let's invite people into it. But I guess I'm gonna throw it back to you, Charlie. I mean, is that part of the game? Is this pure education? Or is this education with the notion that this is part of Jamaica's economic development strategic advantage, is that it has an exportable creative culture?
Before the record company makes the money on the label, they've got to break a star. And breaking the star is actually the thing that is going to be the trigger to the measure of success. When that happens, people will know, all right, this will work.
That's
Part of the